Good morning, all. It's 29 minutes past 9. We are ready to start the day's proceedings. Please make sure that your devices are off. Order. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Lo. Good morning, Mr. Bodlani. Good morning to you too, Colonel.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Council.
Morning, Commissioners, and morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Chair.
Commissioners, just to place on record, I learned this morning from the Colonel that the docket disclosed to us, which we've been working off from yesterday, is incomplete. So it transpires that there are some documents we did not get, and the explanation for that is that the actual docket is actually in two parts. We seem to have been finished with the one part. So we are running copies of what has since been provided to us, which is the second part of the docket, and we will be updating your files accordingly. I do not know the extent to which the Colonel would like to refer to that second part of the docket, which we currently don't have. But I suggest that perhaps we proceed and we'll see where we get. Should we be confronted with that situation before the second part of the docket is finished to all of you, we will either stand the issue down or we'll find a way to manage it. Colonel, would that work for you, that approach?
That will work, I think, Chair, because one of the documents that you have is the main affidavit of myself in that second bundle that came at the end of the bundle. So I may make reference to it at a later stage as you speak, but we'll be guided by that, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe I wasn't correct in what I communicated to the commissioners. We might be missing, you say, some chunks within the docket. Because if we have the last one that I referred to, I had it, I think, as A32 in my files, which is what the commissioners have. You want to refer to that. You are suggesting, if I understand, that we are missing. You explained that they go up to A36. And I thought that if our version goes up to A32, we therefore are missing 33 to 36. But you seem to suggest that there is more, or what I thought was missing, in fact, is in the file. So are you able to shed light exactly on what we are missing? It's okay. So it's all right. I paused. It's my mistake. Go ahead.
I take care of Chair's word yesterday for the transcript, so I pulled back. You have 832. I think that is the main affidavit. So
yes.
The rest up to 836, we can deal with as we.
You won't be needing them at least until tea time.
Not necessary unless something comes to the fore from your line of questioning. Then we can go there. But I think you have 832 and 819. So it's fine. I was under the impression you only had up until 827. Okay. Because that's the first disclosure bundle, and then the remaining came on the second disclosure bundle. Thank you.
That's fine. Then I think you accept my proposed approach. Should it become necessary to refer to something we don't have, we will stand down that issue and then come back to it after tea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Advocate Lodge, before you start, what you call A32, the affidavit we looked at yesterday, we have it as A19 and then 1 in brackets. That's why we were struggling figuring out where it is. So I'm wondering if there are some documents that are duplicated in the docket and whether the second part does not contain the same documents that are in the first part.
Could possibly be, based on your comment and question, Commissioner. But perhaps then to avoid confusion, we'll try and refer to the documents by name, wherever they are located in the file, and avoid calling them A19 or A32, because that might create problems. So far, there is that one document we know that the Colonel wants to deal with. And during tea, hopefully, we will sort something out. Thank you. Thank you. Colonel, just a recap from yesterday. You recall that our exercise intended to determine what I call the start point and the end point. The end point being the application for the issue of warrants of arrest. And I had suggested that the start point is the A1 statement, which is the statement of Mr. Fadil Adams. And the end point, for my purposes, is that application for the warrant of arrest.
That's correct, as of yesterday.
Yes.
And you said you are in possession of the 832. The 832 statement is, you got the A19, which is the application for the warrants,
Yes.
the affidavit for the warrants. Then you will have an affidavit, it's a complete affidavit that covers the whole thing, covers the start till up to the building of the, excuse me, till the warrant of arrest. Means gives you the whole package
Okay.
up until the warrants.
Okay. What is that affidavit called? So we can search. We have given up on A19, A32, the numbers. So if you could just give a description of that affidavit, and we'll try and see if we can track it down in the meantime.
How you would, can I speak? How you would differentiate between the two? The one is the application, is an application in support of the warrants.
Yes.
That's how you'll distinguish, that's A19.
Yes.
The other 832 is just a plain affidavit. The heading is affidavit, either undersigned Brian Padiachi. So that's an affidavit.
It doesn't say what it was furnished in support of. It doesn't say the purpose for which the affidavit was signed on the face of the document itself. It doesn't.
I'm not getting you. I just want to say something quickly.
Yes.
Excuse me, Chair, through you. Advocate Sello, sometimes I can't hear you.
Oh,
and I have to lean front. And that's why when we spoke earlier, when it came to the discussion between yourself and my counsel that you're present, I couldn't really hear properly.
No, I do apologize. Please indicate each time my voice drops too low. I apologize for that.
Thank you, Chair.
I think we will try and locate. Do you know how many affidavits you have, at least, so that we search amongst them? Then we'll try and locate the one you specifically reference.
Yes.
How many affidavits do you have in the docket?
Just before you itemize them, I too am interested to know what A32, for what purpose A32 was deposed to.
Can I speak?
You do explain 19, but and then A32?
832 is what we call an anchor affidavit.
Anchor affidavit.
Anchor affidavit.
Yes.
Yes. It contains the whole scenario of everything, from start up until the.
And why would you have to depose to an anchor affidavit? For what purpose would you ordinarily do that?
It gives the whole start of how of everything, what we did, the investigation up until the time that it finishes off there, where we go for the.
And for whose consumption is it intended?
It's for the court.
Oh, okay.
When I sorry, Chair. When I go and testify,
Okay.
I will be running from my anchor affidavit,
Oh,
because there's no real affidavit for myself per se, like how you would have an A1 affidavit in the docket. So that's why us as investigators, we call it an anchor affidavit.
Okay, so it's intended for court.
Yes, it's intended for court. It is for court.
All right.
All the A bundles from
Okay.
A1 to A36 is intended for court.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Colonel, just then to clarify, this morning I was, in light of the recap I gave, I wanted us to deal with the timeline, basically to look at the chronology of events from the A1, from the moment a decision was taken to investigate up until the arrests were effected. I wanted to look at that timeline. Now, my question is, the affidavit that you specifically referred to, is it relevant for that purpose?
Yes.
Can I try and work through the chronology as I have it based on that part of the docket that we had received? And then we will see whether it's necessary to find this second affidavit you reference. I propose that we start and then we see how far we can go without the affidavit for the moment.
We can, Chair, but when you look at my affidavit that I'm talking about, it starts with factual background.
Okay.
Gives the introduction and then it starts with the factual background of the flow of events.
That's fine. Chair, may I propose a 5-minute stand down just to sort out this affidavit? If we must run copies, at least it's before the Colonel, he then is able to give this chronology of events based on his own document, yes.
I will not say 5 minutes. Will come in when you indicate we should do so. Thank you.
Chair.
Adjourn.
Teams, we are ready to resume. Please make sure that your devices are quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioners, we have located, no, we haven't located. We've been furnished with the affidavit that Colonel Badiachi refers to. Just to confirm, Colonel, it's an affidavit dated the 11th of August, 2025. It's a 13-page document. It just names it as an affidavit. Is that correct?
That's correct, Chair, Commissioners.
For the record, can you describe the affidavit so that future readers will know which affidavit? How would you formally describe this affidavit, either by way of reference to purpose or otherwise?
I will look at this affidavit, and I know for the greater out that side that they would not understand what an anchor affidavit is. But we call it an anchor affidavit,
Okay.
which gives you a background into the whole investigation.
Thank you. And Commissioners, your exhibit file goes up to CJC 382. I propose, for the purpose of the record, we mark this affidavit CJC 383. It is not paginated for the moment, so we will make reference to the typed page numbers. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And as always, I'll rely on the attorneys to sort
Indeed.
out mine.
Indeed, Chair. Thanks.
And my apologies for it, Chair.
On this, I always say mine because my co-commissioners have never moaned about this. But for the first time, Commissioner Baloyi is.
We apologize. It was unforeseen circumstances, Commissioners. Yes, Colonel, you wanted to say something?
Thank you. Chair, Commissioners, and I must tender my apology there on the disclosure of the documents. We had two disclosures. The first one from A1 to A27, not to the evidence leader, but when we were disclosing at court. And then we had a second disclosure. So when we copied the bundles for the evidence leader council, we copied the first one. And then when I was looking into it, I see, but it's only up to A27 when there's an A36. So that's when I sent all the documents last night.
Thank you. Understood. We have it now, so at least we have everything before us that would assist in determining the chronology of events. So I propose that we follow my chronology. You keep that affidavit to the side, and to the extent that you conclude that I have either skipped an important step in my chronology, which is reflected in this affidavit, you will reference the affidavit and then we shall include it. Would that work as an approach? Would that work? Okay, you distracted yourself somewhat. Okay, I'll try again. My proposal to you is we work off the chronology as I've prepared it based on the documents that I had. And if anywhere in that chronology or timeline, there is a step I miss because I didn't have a particular document, but that step is reflected in the affidavit we've just introduced, CJC 383, that's how we've marked it for ourselves, then please refer us to this affidavit and the particular paragraph or page that you would like us to take consideration of, and we will slot it in the chronology. Would that work as an approach?
Yes, Counsel, I will point it out to you.
Yes.
The importance of it is that it gives it in chronological order, the factual background, how it started.
Okay, then perhaps let's do it how it best works for you. I'm just quickly flipping through it to see the dates. You recall we start with a date sometime in December of 2024. That's my start point. It would have been the 27th of November, 2024, which is the date of the Section 27 affidavit. But you didn't see that one. You reference a decision made by the Case Evaluation Committee, which you say is in December 2024. So for the record, that's what we have, December, and that's my start date.
Yes.
So without going into the detail of the facts justifying the investigation, let's work through this affidavit and highlight the key dates that are important that you want the commissioners to have regard to. And I'll try and slot them into my timeline as we speak. Then we'll deal with my chronology of events. I'm happy to give you a first shot at this.
Thank you.
I remember that we are not dealing with who did what and when. We're just looking at the key dates, what happened on what date that is reflected on this document.
Thank you, Council Chair.
Thank you.
Commissioners. I think it will give us a better understanding from when we started with the 27. And first of all, when it comes to the 27, as I indicated, I never received the 27. So there were people at management, legal minds, who made a decision that the investigation should be authorized. As a result of that authorization, we have the preliminary investigation, which comes down to our level. We are authorized to investigate the matter preliminary. So the investigation starts from there. It's a broad investigation from the briefing given by the Chief Criminal Investigator, who we directly report to. The briefing is done in the form of a briefing. This is the scenario. This is whatever is there.
Do you want to give a date? Because as I understood it, Ms. Sillo is very much interested in dates.
In dates?
Yes.
So, Commissioner, I cannot remember specific dates, but it was during December 2024. And as I must remind Commissioner that during a certain part of December 24 to January, I went on leave and I was out of the country. The investigation starts, preliminary investigation. Obviously, as an investigator, as I explained, that when something is given to us, it's an allegation. Sometimes the facts will be very, very minimum, but we have to investigate. So we start the investigation process, and when we, say for example, we start the investigation, and we find there, but there is nothing, then we will have to close the investigation because there's nothing. Or we cannot find anything to substantiate or support what is there. But if we find something, a crime that's been committed, we've already started the investigation, we've commenced with it. We will start now by proving, getting more evidence to support this crime that has been committed. So the preliminary investigation is what it's all about. That's why you'll find that some affidavits are taken in January, which is the start, but at the end of the day, when we look at it, the docket is registered in June, because the preliminary starts first. The investigation starts first and it builds up until the time when you are saying, okay, it's now a full-blown investigation, right, and we're going to start, we need to register this docket. So because IDAC does not have its own case dockets of IDAC, we use the SAPS dockets. So you would go and you would register the dockets, and you've taken a statement in January, but your docket is opened in June. So on your preamble, I call it the 3MA and 3MB, your preamble that we were discussing, that has to be completed. It's for the administration of the docket purposes on the system at the station. So therefore, you will have an affidavit that is taken earlier on, but it's in the docket or attached to the 3MA, 3MB And that was the thing with the date there. So move on from,
Sorry, before you move on,
Commissioner.
the preliminary investigation, what you refer to as preliminary investigation, is that the part that falls under an inquiry?
Inquiry.
Remember you mentioned an
Inquiry.
inquiry and you said it has its own number and
Yes.
own file.
That's correct.
Okay.
And to add on it, Commissioner, that inquiry doesn't have a CAS number. It will have a CIN, what we call it, a reference number. So whatever we do or whatever we do, if we have to travel somewhere, the reference is that CIN. If we take and apply for a summons or documents, that's the reference number. But once the case docket is registered, that inquiry number will fall off and you will start using the CAS number. So that's the start. The investigation starts. There are allegations that are made. So the next step is to now go and look for supportive evidence. You will subpoena documents. So that is exactly what we did. We compiled a subpoena and we served documents on the National Commissioner for various documents according to the allegations. So when you say there's a promotion, we want the appointment dockets, everything. We want the personal files. We want the vetting files. We want the Secret Service account, that, and that. Now, these documents are classified. So we also asked for the documents to be declassified. So the National Commissioner at that moment was General Masimula. He declassified all those documents, and there were quite a number of files that he brought to us. So when those files were brought to us, we perused those files. And it is then that moment in time when some of the allegations came to light that, look, this is indeed so. It confirms the allegation. But with that allegation, you still have to get an affidavit. And that's how we go with the affidavits from there until we build up to a point. Now, Chair, Commissioners, we do the investigation. After we're done with the investigation, it is presented to the prosecutors. Is there enough in your investigation to support a charge? Is there enough to support, the first person, is there enough? The suspect is identified. Is there enough evidence there to support the charge against the suspect? So they make those decisions. Either they take what we give them and use it, or they reject it, or they say, go further and this is what further we need. So it may mean that with this further guidance from the prosecutors, you'll have to requisition more documents, you may have to interview more people until they are satisfied, look, we are now at this point where we are ready, the suspect's identified, we have evidence to support the charges, and then it moves to the next step of your application for, I don't want to jump a step. Once they are satisfied that they have sufficient, they will start with a draft charge sheet, they will start with a memo, and then they will present that to the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, who's responsible for that leg or team. They will have to convince him to say, look, this is what we have. When he looks at it and he says, no, okay, fine, it's enough here to move forward to the next level. So he has to now take everything with the charge sheet and present it before management and the head of the office. So the head of the office has a look at the charges, what is there, and they give the go-ahead to say, okay, yes, we can go ahead. All right? So I actually jumped into the full-blown investigation. The first is the preliminary, where it's submitted to the prosecutors, presented to the deputy director, and then presented to management, and they are satisfied, yes, this should go into a full-blown investigation. Then a full-blown investigation is authorized under Section 28(1). So it comes back again, where we now build the case docket, and then the draft charge sheet is done, the presentation to management and the head of the office, where after that a consultation note is done to the Director of Public Prosecutions in that particular region to prosecute the matter. That Director of Prosecution can say, yes, you can proceed, she's satisfied, or he's satisfied, you can prosecute the matter and go forward. So once that is done, then we have to, because of the nature of the offense, when it comes to a Schedule 5 offense or more serious, we prepare bail affidavits. We got the bail affidavits, we got the charge sheets, then the next step is the making arrangements for the court. The applications for the J50s are done. You go to the magistrate, you present your affidavit to the magistrate, and it's scrutinized there. And obviously sometimes they are not satisfied with it. They say that they're not satisfied with it, so you have to go back and rectify whatever queries they have. At the end of the day, the warrants are issued. Once the warrants are issued, a planning is done, and in most cases that what we do, Chair, Commissioners, we try to do whatever we do in a professional way. Although we have a warrant of arrest, we don't go to your home, phone you, please come with your attorney, your legal representative, I have a warrant for you. Please come to the police station with your legal representative where the warrant is executed and processed, and thereafter the court process. So that is the flow process of my explanation, which I tried to explain, but I had some difficulty with it, but now I've given it to you. But one thing what I want to say, Chair, Commissioners, I have no insight into this, into Section 27. And yes, as Commissioner Baloy said, you know, as an investigating officer, you should have got that 27. But in our workspace where we are, we're getting a briefing from the chief. We believe in what he says. He gives us the guidance. There is that scenario there, and at all given times, it's an allegation. So we go out, we investigate. And if we find there's nothing, we come back and we tell the chief, hey, there's nothing here. And it ends there. We're not going to go and look and scratch for something that is not there or make up something. But that's where it is. That's where it ends there. With regards to the Section 27 and the reversal, when the Section 27 comes, it goes to the head of the office. And the head of office, together with their management, whatever they do, they are the legal-minded. In terms of the act and everything that they do, they will look at it. By the time it comes to our office or down to our level, it's authorized. That's our authority to carry on, and we comply. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Colonel. Was it only in this instance that an investigator did not get the Section 27 referral, or is your testimony that the chiefs never ever give that referral to investigators?
Commissioners, I've never received.
You may have dealt with this, but yes, there's no harm in you repeating it.
No problem, Chair. In all the investigations that I've conducted, and there are a few of them, I've never had insight into the 27. From the briefing, we're getting a briefing.
Yes.
We because it's I'll put it this way, because it's handled at management level and dealt with there, for us, it's just the authorization, proceed with your investigation. That's what's important to us.
Okay.
Proceed, carry on with your investigation.
So on your understanding, that's the case with with other investigators as well. They too never get the Section 27 referral.
Within the investigators,
to your knowledge,
I do not know. To my knowledge, I do not know.
You don't know.
There are many. There are not one chief criminal investigator.
I referred to chiefs plural.
Chiefs.
I referred to chiefs plural.
Yes, sir. So, I would not have knowledge.
So you do not know about other investigators as well, whether they do get these from the chiefs? You do not know.
Can I respond to you?
Yes.
The other chiefs and their teams, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
But, Colonel, this is not the first case you've investigated. In previous cases that you investigated, did you get the Section 27 referral?
No, sir. I did not get the 27 referral. On the other cases where I assisted in the investigations, I did not have sight into Section 27. That's why, for me, when you are asking me about the Section 27, it's like I've never. Thank you, sir.
Can I just ask that Does that mean the fact that you rely on a briefing, does that mean you have no role at all in what charge is formulated?
That is correct. I have no authority. That's for the prosecutors to determine. It's their space. Because they must decide, because it's prosecution-led, they decide to prosecute or not to prosecute.
Yeah, I'm asking a different question. So here, for example, in the Mukwele matter, you've got charges of fraud, for example. You would not have had any input into whether what you have gathered in your investigation, whether preliminary or the main investigation, whether it supports that charge of fraud. You have no input in that.
From the investigation and what evidence we gather, for example, where you can see fraud, when we're presenting your investigation, what we found here misrepresentation, fraud, in your investigation, because it shows on your investigation and your statements, the crime is there. It's for them to see whether there is enough for that alleged crime to stand, and for them to put that in the charge. But where I'm not sure this is going to answer your question, Commissioner Boloy, is that do we influence the prosecutor to say, no, look here, this is fraud, this is corruption? No, we don't have control over that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioners. You are still dealing with CJC 383, this new extra affidavit you just submitted. And I just wanted to make sure that you have highlighted all the dates that you consider relevant, reflected in this document. Do you have them?
Yes, Commissioner. Yes, Counsel. May I?
Absolutely, yes, please.
May I ask, would it not be possible for me to read it into the record, and so that the flow can come there, or we flow? But I'll be guided by you.
Please not.
No.
Just rather, yes.
Thank you, sir.
It's got a whole lot of factual background that, though important, is not relevant for the particular exercise I want. But I assure you, we will get to the factual issues that are reflected here, because I intend to deal with them during the course of the day. Just not now. Right now, it's just dates issues, to know what happened on what date. So is there anything in this affidavit? I don't see a date necessarily, but I could very well have missed it. Do you see a date that between December 2024 and June 2025, when the members of the panel were arrested? Is there any date in this particular affidavit that I should have regard to and make sure that I do not skip in setting out my chronology?
I think I will be guided by you, Counsel,
Okay.
when you come to specifics, and then we
Okay.
can look to see if there's a date, or
All right.
can you remember a date, and then I will respond accordingly.
Okay. Just then to remind ourselves, if you look at section 27 affidavit, which that would be at page 512. CJC 373, we've dealt with that affidavit.
November.
Yes, file 2.
File 2.
CJC?
CJC 373 at page 512, Commissioner.
I have it.
Thank you. Now, paragraph 1 of that affidavit tells us that the deponent, and I read, first opened 3 cases in Cape Town Police Station with case numbers, and they are set out. You see that?
Correct.
It's on your version. the case numbers are not blocked out, so you can see. And all of them bear, you remember that middle, in the cast number, that middle number, they all bear the number 10, which means October.
That's correct.
So they were all, the three we now know were opened in October.
That's correct.
Then the deponent deals with other issues. Do you know the dates on which these dockets were opened in October?
I'm not too sure offhand, but I can just maybe try and check it on.
Okay, maybe let me ask you a different question. Do you have the dockets? Because the docket would tell us, it has a date.
The physical docket?
Do you have
Yes.
copies of the dockets
Yes.
in the main docket?
Yes.
The docket you disclosed to us?
No, that docket was not disclosed to you.
Okay,
The original dockets that were opened by Mr. Adams has not been disclosed to you.
Okay. So I did think that I couldn't locate them in what was disclosed to us. So I propose another way of trying to determine the date, because that date becomes important. You have by your feet another file. It's Mkwanazi annexures. And we are looking for MK15 in Mkwanazi annexures. These are the annexures to General Mkwanazi's statement to the Commission. And we are looking for MK15. Now, MK15 is a report by Lieutenant General Jacobs, who is the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate. If you go to page 271, 270, that's where it starts, that's the cover page, and at 271, at the bottom, it gives his designation. This report you'll see is dated the 30th of July 2025.
That's correct.
But this report records everything according to General Jacobs that transpired from the moment they, as the inspectorate, became aware of the issues that are referenced in their section 27, particularly the dockets opened in Cape Town. Yes, please, go ahead.
Council, Chair, Commissioners, when I looked at the documents I think you sent yesterday, additional MK, whatever, on that I've only have 2 pages. I do not have the remaining part of it.
No, they were not sent yesterday. I didn't send any documents yesterday.
There were documents.
I think they were provided to you
updated documents which
on Friday, together with the exhibit bundle given to you on Friday.
There was an email that came with updated documents and it said MK, but I'll try and
Okay,
yeah.
Let's not unduly detain ourselves. I'll accept that you only got 2 documents,
Yes.
2 pages
Yes.
of a bigger document. I don't know how that transpired. We will see where the glitch was in their administration. But for the moment, let's work off this document. We will perhaps have to go slower to give you an opportunity to wrap your mind around the contents of the report.
Okay.
So then just to give you perspective, as you see, I don't know which pages you got the 2, but this is the report of the Inspectorate, Lieutenant General, the Inspector of the Inspectorate, if that is the one, Lieutenant General Jacobs. That much you were able to deduce from the documents you got, the 2.
Yes,
Sorry, Mr. Lilo. May the attorneys just check what the kennel has, please?
the document.
Chair, I think the kernel is looking at the actual annexure bundle, so it would be the complete MK15. What I understood the kernel to point out is that when this document was shared, MK15, the annexure, was shared with him for purposes of preparation, he only got 2 pages of the entire bundle. So perhaps during tea, we will look at what he received by email and try and determine how he was provided with only 2 pages of what is more than 20 pages, yes.
Okay, so he's got what we have, but
Yes, what he has before him now.
in a different bundle.
Yes. Do you agree with my explanation, Colonel?
Council.
Oh, no, I was saying, do you agree with the explanation I provided to the commissioners, which is the file you have before you
Yes.
is the original annexure MK15 and should be complete for our purposes, and that the point you raised earlier was that the same annexure, when was shared with you previously for purposes of preparation, you appear to have received only 2 pages of that.
That's correct.
Yes. So I was proposing to the chair that during the tea break, we'll try and see how that came to be. And I apologize for that to the extent that it may have happened.
And that being said, Council, that I haven't had insight into it, I'd like to have the opportunity of looking at the annexures, and unless you're going to, if you're going to deal with it now, I'd like to have insight into it, because what I'm looking here specifically is the date.
I'll take you to the date.
May I make this suggestion? If you have something else you may deal with, why don't we do that and give the Colonel an opportunity over the tea break, perhaps?
Here's my difficulty.
If you have no difficulty doing it that way.
I have a huge difficulty, unfortunately, Chair, and as the Colonel was speaking, I was trying to think very fast if there's a solution to the problem. The problem is the docket as it stands. It's very difficult to determine the chronology. What I've been able to establish in preparation is the chronology from October 2024 to, as I said, I'm aiming for June 2025. And one of the best annexures before on record already is MK15, which is what General Mkwanazi submitted. So
may we stand down
for him to acquaint
for
himself.
5 minutes for you, Mr. Bodlani, and the Colonel to have a discussion and see how long he would require to go through whatever material. This exhibit and whatever else.
No, we shall do so, Chair. I'm happy to.
We'll come back when you indicate.
Thank you,
Let's
Chair.
adjourn.
It's been decided that we will take the tea break now and return at 11:10. Thanks. It's 11:09. Please make sure that your devices are off, quiet. Thank you.
Yes, Ms.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think, firstly to say, we have resolved the challenge. But before we proceed, I think it's only appropriate to apologize to Colonel Padiachi. The Commission administration failed him. It is correct, he only got 3 pages of Annexure MK15, which is made up of more than 20 pages. Technically, what appears to have happened is somebody decided to draw out only the first 3 pages of Annexure MK15 and provide him that. And that basically are the cover pages to the report that we still need to engage with. The dates that I wanted to reference in order to determine our timeline are included in the annexes to that report. The purpose, as the chair the commissioners would appreciate, of giving the witnesses the documents the evidence leaders intend to rely upon ahead of their appearance is to enable them to familiarize themselves with their contents and to consider them in the context of their own testimony. Now, we were denied that opportunity because of this administrative problem. But most importantly, it serves 2 purposes. We don't intend to prejudice witnesses. It's to make sure that the witness is fully appraised of the documents that the evidence leaders will rely on. But most importantly, it does not assist the Commission when we, quote unquote, spring such documents on the witness and hope for a meaningful engagement. So, Chair, I think before we proceed, it's appropriate I place that on record. Colonel Padiachi was quite correct. That's what he received. I don't understand how, but this is where we are. But I think he's deserving of the Commission's apology. Thank you, Chair.
Which you are tendering.
Which I'm tendering unreservedly, Chair. I think.
Thank you, Mr. Lolo. Colonel, you want to say something? Please place yourself on record. I see that Mr. Bolgani, he did ask to be excused. I think in my mother tongue, and then filter and speak.
Good morning, Chair and the Commissioners. Unfortunately, you are left to deal with me now. I've noticed you've not been greeting me since we started, but only Mr. Madlanga.
I never. Don't try to promote yourself. I never greet those who are being led.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
My surname is Ramatsekisa.
Yes.
Chair and the Commissioners, I confirm the submission by the evidence leader. And we appreciate that we have been afforded the opportunity for the witness to go through the annexures. And the witness is saying that it's not yet done, and he was asking for a bit of few minutes just to complete perusing the documents that he has been given. So we are in the hands of the court, but he was asking
Commission,
if it could be...
Commission, not court.
My apologies. My apologies. We're in the hands of the commissioners. He was asking maybe until 12, but he might finish before that. He's just in the midway of the documents.
Colonel, thank you, Mr. Ramatsekisa. Marama?
Correct, Ramatsekisa.
Thank you. I've written it down. Colonel, it does seem you were hard done by, and Ms. Silo has tendered an apology. I hope you accept it.
Yes, Chair, it's understandable. I mean,
yes.
The same happened to us. So
Yeah.
we offer counsel the same with the apology too as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Apologies.
Thank you. Something I've said repeatedly at this commission was said by Ms. Sillo when she was addressing us just now. And it is that this commission does not want to ever disadvantage a witness or to treat a witness unfairly. Where there are documents a witness is seeing for the first time, we either proceed on the basis that the witness may file a supplementary affidavit afterwards to address whatever issues the witness was not able to address as best as they wanted to when they testified in open session. So we always do our best to achieve that. That is fairness, basic fairness in treating all witnesses. When we said we would come back at 10 past, that was on the basis of what was indicated in an informal discussion outside, which was an expectation that you would be done going through the document /S by 10 past. But we are now faced with the reality that you are not done. Sorry, how much longer, or should we just adjourn and come back when it's indicated to us? What should we do? Should we how much more time do you require?
I don't think it's, can I speak, Chair?
Yes, yes.
Chair, Commissioners, I don't think it'll be much time. So as you always indicate, when you're ready, call us back.
But
So-
aren't you see where you are and you see what's left. Please indicate how much longer you require.
Perhaps 20 minutes.
20 minutes. We'll come back at 20 to 12. Let's adjourn.
Thank you.
Good morning again. It's 11:39. We are ready to resume. Please make sure that your devices are quiet. Thank you.
Mr. Ramatsekisa, ready now.
Thank you, Chair. and
Is the Colonel
Commissioners.
ready now?
Yeah, he's ready.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner, I will... Colonel, I do apologize. I guess things got off to a bad start this morning, but I shall regroup. Colonel, as you now have become familiar with this annexure MK15, you do notice that it's actually a report in its entirety. It's a report of Lieutenant General Jacobs, as I'd indicated, dated the 30th of July 2025. And you were able to establish that attached to that report are a series of annexures that he references in his report. So, in working through this annexure, MK15, I will jump to specific documents for purposes of my timeline. You remember we still try to establish the timeline, and I do apologize that we're only starting to do so now. Please bear in mind the affidavit you submitted in the morning, CJC 383, so that if I skip any particular event in my timeline, we can pick it up from your affidavit. The one that you submitted this morning.
Mike, please.
Your microphones.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes. So the one you submitted this morning, and for the record, we marked it, we give each a specific marking, exhibit number. So it's CJC 383. So I'm saying as I work through my timeline based on the documentation I had, if there's a specific date that I miss somehow, and it's contained in your affidavit, please feel free to refer me there, and I shall include it in the timeline.
Your anchor affidavit, as you called it.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So now, you recall we referenced, I think, paragraph 1 of Mr. Adams's Section 27 affidavit to know that he said he opened the dockets in Cape Town in October.
That's correct.
Now, as you saw in this annexure MK15, there are cover pages of those dockets, and I would like to refer to the first. The first is at page 303, and that same pack, MK15. And that it's got a case number. What's important for my purposes there is the date on which it's opened. And that should read, it reads on my copy 2024-10-29 at 1430, I think. You confirm that?
I confirm.
So that's my first date. I've confirmed that the first docket in Cape Town was, or at least that one of the dockets in Cape Town was opened on the 29th of October at 2:30. I then have the next one, which would be at page 305. And that too bears the date of 29th of October 2024 and inserted a timestamp of 1430.
I confirm.
The third then would be at page 308. And that once again is 2024 October 29 at 1430.
I confirm.
So now we know our Cape Town dockets were opened on the 29th. I then tried to understand the next date. The next date would be when Mr. Adams, as he indicates in his affidavit, came to Gauteng to open what now we call the Orlando dockets. Unfortunately, I don't have those dockets. I can't put a definitive date on which that happened. Do you, by any chance, have those dates in your docket? Do you recall having them at all? Do you recall having the docket covers of the Orlando cases so that we can determine the date?
Yes, if council can bear with me, I can just check quickly.
Okay, if it's not too far, because otherwise we could park it and go to the next date. Because the next date I deal with takes into consideration the Orlando docket. So we know it will be between the 30th of October and this next date I'm going to deal with. Then during lunch we will check for the actual dates.
No problem.
I'm trying to save time because we've lost quite a bit. Okay, then the next date I have, we're still with MK15. We start at page 281. These are a series of emails that run until page 284. These have nothing to do with you. If you've never had sight of them, it's accepted. I don't expect you to comment about them, but you remember we're just trying to establish the timeline of different events. Now, if we, and we know with emails, we start from the last and work our way backwards. That's how they come out when they are printed. So our first email starts at page 283. At the bottom of 283, it's an email from somebody. It's addressed to Minister Mkunu. It's dated 1st of November 2024 at 8:21 in the morning.
Correct, Chair.
And if you flip over to page 284, it is from Honorable Fadil Adams. Now, that email reads thus. I have opened, to Minister of Police, I have opened cases in the Western Cape on a number of senior subs personnel as per following case dockets as per Grand Central. Then he provides them. Second point, I was told that the dockets were intercepted. In my quest for justice, I traveled to Gauteng and opened following dockets as per Orlando SAPS. Then he provides a detail. The detail provided there, we can tell from the cast numbers that they too in Orlando were opened in October. You confirm that?
I confirm.
Then he continues, however, I've also been notified that the Gauteng Police Department has followed the same modus operandi as the Western Cape PC and is interfering in the investigative process. I apologize. I urgently and humbly ask the minister to intervene and ensure the integrity of the investigative process is maintained to ensure a fair and just outcome. So that's our next date. First is the 29th of October, when they are opened in Cape Town. The next is that date yet to be determined in October, when they are opened in Orlando. And the 1st of November is a complaint to the minister regarding interference or interception of both sets of dockets. Now, if you stay on page 283, the email above is now an email from Nkabinde CM. When General Mkwanazi testified, he advised that Nkabinde CM is the chief of staff in the minister's office. And you see that is dated 1 November 2024, 0904. And that is addressed to Major General Sibula and Brigadier Litoko. Subject line is charges laid by NCC. And Mr. Nkabinde writes as follows. I read the body of the email, second paragraph. The ministry has received this complaint from the Member of Parliament. In order for the ministry to respond accordingly, please furnish this office with a report in responding to this complaint and the details of the investigating officer who was assigned to investigate these cases. Your report is expected on Monday, 4th November 2024 at 1500 hours. So the Office of the Minister immediately acts upon this and directs the complaint to be dealt with and directs that complaint to Major General Sebola and Litoko. We need not concern ourselves about who they are, but that's what the email tells us. Then if we go back to page 282, at the bottom is now an email from somebody within SAPS. It's dated still the 1st of November 2024 at 11:45. And it is addressed to complaints nodal point, copying the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate and a few others. And in this particular communication overleaf, before we go overleaf, at the bottom of 282, this person informs, kindly see the email below for your urgent attention, and important, feedback must reach the Office of the National Commissioner on Monday, 1200, and report to the Office of the Minister by Monday, the 4th November 2024 at 1500. Then still staying at page 282, at the top, it's now 11:59, about 12. This is from the National Inspectorate to a few other people, and it reads, please find email from Lieutenant Colonel Sitati for urgent attention as directed by the National Commissioner. After receiving the email, it was followed by a call to humbly request for feedback to be submitted on or before 1200 on Monday, 4th of November 2024. You see that? Then lastly, at page 281, it's an email from one of the recipients of the previous email I just dealt with, addressed to other members of SAPS, and it would appear in particular to Colonel van Rooyen, and reads, please ensure that this is urgently registered into N16 of 2017 VS2. Don't have to worry ourselves about that. Further down it reads, please take note and deal with this immediately. Engage the province directly, please. Also note the deadline set for Monday, 4th of November. So our next date is this flurry of activity on the 1st of November, triggered by Honorable Adams's complaint to the minister at 8 in the morning. So by 1 o'clock, I will then, it then records that it is being acted upon, and eventually by the, I don't know if it's appropriate to call them the complaints nodal, but the point where it was referred to as a complaint and with an urgent request to deal with, to enable the original person to whom the complaint was addressed from the minister's office to respond to the minister by the 4th of November.
Ms. Silo, a detail,
Yes.
just in case it becomes relevant, is also to note that the 1st of November, according to these messages, was a Friday.
Yes, I confirm it was a Friday.
And this activity was supposed to be reported on the Monday.
On Monday. And in fact, that is confirmed in the email at page 282 from Lieutenant Colonel Bapela, who specifically requests that the report be provided by 1200 on Monday, 4th of November. So that should take care of that. Thank you so much. So the next day then, I have nothing between the 1st of November being a weekend and the 4th. My next date would be the 4th of November. We've established that's a due date for the report. Then the 4th of November, if we stay with that, an extra MK 15, we go to page 285. And It starts at 285, this particular document, but if we jump to 287, we'll see that it is a report by Major General, Acting Divisional Commissioner, Inspectorate, N.M. Dada, dated 4th of November 2024. It's a 3-page document, and then if we go back then to page 285, where it starts, it's an information note directed to the minister. It provides a purpose, the background, the background is as we have discussed. We know the opening of the 2 sets of dockets. Then there's a discussion, and then it deals with the nature of the complaints in the dockets. Now, if we stay at page 286, it states that at 3.1.1, the criminal allegations in the 6 cases which were opened are leveled against Generals Kumalo, Lushaba, Madondo, and Brigadier Ncube, and are centered on 4 specific matters, namely abuse of secret service account 1, 2, cover-up of criminal incident linked to Valeria case number, it's provided, and there's a note that the docket is locked in a safe at the police station and access thereto will only be available from 11 November 24. Third, failure to address Major General Madondo's results of the polygraph examination, wherein 2 incidents of tax evasion were uncovered. And lastly, practices of nepotism. So that's his summary, the author's summary of the contents of those dockets. The most important is at 287 for purposes of our timeline. And at the top, under 4, recommendation, and at 4.1, it reads, this office recommends that an extension of 10 working days is provided in order for the following to be conducted, whereafter a comprehensive report can be provided. 1, interview the complainant and obtain a detailed affidavit. 2, perusal of all criminal dockets, including Valeria case number provided. 3, determine if any other government department is investigating the same allegations. So this is submitted on the 4th of November to the minister. If you turn, then it's submitted by Major General Dada, and still at 287, you'll see that it's counted.
Looks like, just for
Yes.
accuracy, it's the 5th, not the 4th. It's submitted on the 5th of November. You see that because General Sibia signs it on the 5th on 287,
No,
bottom of that page.
Yes, Commissioner, I was saying it's signed on the 4th.
Yes,
So Major General
on the 5th.
Dada on the 4th
Yes.
dates it. He's the author of this document.
Yes.
Then the second signature I was going to go to is the signature at the bottom
Yes.
of the same page. And I say it seems to have gone to General Sibia, who signs it on the 5th of November 2025 with no comments. And then the third signature is once again overleaf at page 288. And that appears to be the signature of the Minister of Police, E.S. Mkunu, MP, and it's dated 8 November 2024.
Advocacy law, my point was that the minister's office appears to get this report on the 5th. And
Oh.
we see that from the date stamp
I'm
on
with you.
page 285.
I'm with you. Thank you,
So
Commissioner.
they missed that 4 November deadline by a day.
Indeed.
And then on the 5th, the stamp suggests
On
that
the
that's
first
when the
page.
minister's office received it.
I misunderstood you. I thought it was the date on which